Hi, it's Mike Stiles from Brand Content Studios. Here's the Content Marketing Quickie for the week ending October 8th. Space, the final frontier. No, there's not a new podcast featuring new audio Star Trek episodes, although that is an outstanding idea. But check out what GE is doing, producing their own SciFi Podcast series. This is an awesome example of what I knew would come, but that's been slow to take hold: brands creating true entertainment content. The show isn't about GE, and there are no GE ads in it. It's to help GE appeal to the young techie types they want to like them. The show is The Message, about having to decode a 70-year-old signal from deep space. Andy Goldberg, GE's global creative director, says they're doing it with the Panoply Network, and the success of the serial podcast flipped a switch for us that podcasting was no longer going to be informational pieces, but could be entertainment. This is nothing new for GE. Remember GE Theater? It was a TV show in the 50s hosted by Ronald Reagan, whose purpose was to build and entertain an audience. I'm a very high-end, fancy, luxury consumer. I eat my Doritos with a spoon. But Eric Sass reports in Media Post that luxury brands are virtually non-existent on social. BrandWatch studied 32 luxury fashion brands and found, for example, 99.6% of Twitter content that talks about luxury brands did not come from the brands. It came from consumers. I know what you're thinking. I thought it too. That's a good thing. You want the product fans to do the talking. But BrandWatch says, maybe not all the talking. They say luxury brands feeling like they're extra special and fancy because they're too good to post on social isn't the best approach. That you could post aspirational stuff without reducing your hoity-toityness. Also, even if you sell diamond shower heads, there's still engagement. If people are trying to reach you on social, you can't just ignore them. Unless no customer service is your marketing angle. Here's the good news. We've done such a good job with technology and content that we created the bad news. The public has come to expect high quality in both of those areas and have very little patience for low quality. An Adobe study reveals 90% of people multi-screen, even though 47% of even millennials feel distracted when they do that. They're distracting themselves. What I'm talking about is content overload, and when that's happening, we get really super picky about what we engage with. Social Times reports the things that turn people away are images that won't load, content that takes too long to load, content that's too long, and unattractive content. Those are all great excuses to move on and find something else. As for what people will share, never, ever, ever underestimate the importance of entertainment. Get this, then share this. 35% of millennials think entertainment is more important than accuracy. It's time for the You Don't Know What You're Doing story of the week. These are stories about how what the consumer thinks and what brands think sometimes don't match up, like at all. Magnetic did a study with retail touchpoints. 71% of retailers say they send tailored messages to customers often or almost always. 50% of those customers say they regularly get emails with irrelevant info. That doesn't match up. 61% of retailers say they often or always deliver messages tailored to individual interests. Well, only 30% of customers see online ads that hit their interests. Retail Touchpoints' Alicia Forletta says having the right data continues to be among their key challenges. But it sure is worth getting the data right. 41% of customers who get a relevant ad said they spent more with that retailer. But as it is, 75% of the public does not think retailers educate or empower them to buy. The exciting thing about social was you could connect with people and post things for the whole world to see. Now, apparently, a lot of us mostly want to chat with a few people and have nobody see it. Those closed messaging platforms like WhatsApp, Viber, and Messenger are only picking up steam, a 12% increase in daily usage since last year. Research consultancy TNS says 55% of internet users globally are IMing every day, and 76% do it weekly. The U.S., though, is kind of lagging behind more mobile-first markets. For instance, 69% use it daily in China, 73% in Brazil. Oh, that's sweet. You're starting to feel sad for social networks, aren't you? Well, no need to, because social's doing fine, too, with a 6% uplift in daily usage. 30% of global internet users still get on Facebook daily, making it the king, and it's even more kingly in the US at 53%. YouTube is second at 26%. So how do brands fit into this semi-private messaging? The study says users don't exactly love brands intruding, but they worry much more about how what they share makes them look. What are you going to be for Halloween? I'm going as a marketer advertising on Snapchat. According to the Financial Times, Snapchat is offering sponsored lenses. What they do is change how people's selfies look with some kind of branded filter, and they're appropriately debuting on Halloween. So like Burger King could let people put that black Halloween Whopper bun on their photos. The cost to do that on special occasions like holidays is $750,000. Maybe I'm not going as a marketer advertising on Snapchat for Halloween. Non-special occasions will run you only $450,000. Nathaniel Mott reports users can still use lenses even if there are no sponsors. They can also change photos with geofilters to show off places not affiliated with a business, like Niagara Falls. Niagara Falls hasn't been bought by a corporation yet, has it? Or they can choose sponsored geofilters to show, for example, they're at a Buccaneers game. Of course, why would you want to show that you're at a Buccaneers game? Martin Albarda of Flock Associates has a warning for us. We're plowing ahead, getting into this whole programmatic marketing thing, but we're doing that before we get our messaging right. The risk? We're adopting new technologies and new ways to make it faster and more efficient to deliver bad content. You know what'll happen next? Martin says you can look for consumers to want to block content marketing just like they're now trying to block ads. He points out Google's head of advertising said consumers are avoiding marketing messages because of, quote, crappy ad experiences. Well, naturally, people want to avoid those, so here comes the programmatic delivery of native content, as if people won't avoid that too if it's annoying and not valuable. And consumers get kind of excited about avoiding bad stuff, and tech companies get excited about giving them the tools to do it. Martin says the Content Marketing Institute tells us 55% of B2B CMOs don't know how to measure content marketing. So if we can't tell what's good, why are we rushing to get what might be crappy experiences out programmatically? What are those folks in the UK watching? Ericsson UK's CMO of Broadcast and Media Services, Stella Medlicott, reports premium content viewing is going up, and there's plenty of binge watching going on. 87% binge once a week, over 50% binge daily, and just 5% never do it. They've never heard of Breaking Bad. Piracy's not as cool as it used to be. Half as many people do it now than did in 2011. But maybe because viewers aren't stealing as much, they're having a hard time finding stuff worth watching. 85% say that's a problem for them once a week, while 31% deal with this life crisis multiple times a day. The story at digitaltveurope.net goes on to say half of UK viewers don't mind giving up that personal info at all if it means they'll get good recommendations, and they actually trust their providers to use that info in noble ways only. Lastly, Susanna Dinage of Discovery Networks UK and Ireland reminds us the viewer's in control and also the people who create the content. That's us. We create content. Do you feel in control? If you make content so you'll look great in search, Business.com's Melissa Thompson runs through the things that can help you get the high-quality traffic you want. They include fascinating content, not just content for content's sake, keywords that are actually attainable, no SEO trickery, which Google will burn you for now, demote irrelevant Google site links and Google Webmaster Tools, post more often, like 6 times a week, which QuickSprout says will increase traffic 18.6% versus posting 5 times. Promote on social, guest blog, don't forget LinkedIn, make your site responsive so it's awesome on all devices, and submit your stuff to sites like Reddit. But seriously, make sure it's worthwhile and authentic because Reddit users will truly burn you otherwise. So, speaking of Reddit, they've got their first standalone property. Upvoted is kind of a news site that pulls news stories from Reddit threads. They figured, well, other news sites are getting news stories from our forums, so why haven't we been doing it? And then they answered themselves. Each upvoted story, some of which might be videos or podcasts, gets put in a special Reddit forum and lets you know who posted it first and shows you the original thread. But no comments. No, I haven't been drinking. I'm not tripping on anything, even though there are Reddit forums that will show me how. Adweek's Tim Basinger wrote about it, said it's to protect writers from, you when you're angry. And no ads. The money will come from sponsored posts and brand content. The operation is run by Vicky Chang, who used to be MySpace's editorial director. Video Smackdown. Who's doing better in video, Facebook or YouTube? Because, Facebook wants to be about video, and they've grown really fast to 4 billion video views daily. VentureBeat Research says that is really, really impressive. But it doesn't hold a candle, doesn't even hold a wick, really, to YouTube. It's 11 times bigger than Facebook in viewing hours. John Ketzier writes, "We Americans, when you put us all together, spend 8,061 years on YouTube daily. Globally, that number goes to 46,000 years. That's a lot of cats and babies." The research asked if you could only have one place to watch digital videos. YouTube beat out Facebook 5-1. The younger you are, the more likely you are to prefer YouTube. We'll see who wins in the end. Like we said, Facebook's video growth is happening really quickly, but it's a fight worth fighting. TV has a $172.5 billion global ad share, and video is shifting to digital all the time. Did you feel that? Just shift it again. Facebook likes to do things for marketers, like help you pay for stuff, but at least they also try to create things we want to pay for. If you like to use Facebook to improve sales, for instance, you've got Facebook lead ads. No making prospects fill out long forms. You get their data because Facebook has their data. Why are you telling me this, Mike, you ask? Now that data can be used by several of your favorite CRS platforms. Eloqua, Sailthrough, Salesforce, Marketo, DriftRock, Meropost. Did I name your favorite? So now that Leads Ads integrates with CRM's greatest hits, data goes in a secure system and can be used to sell, market, and service. And you can use open-ended questions and multiple choice to customize your lead ad forms. The end. The transcript is at brandcontentstudios.com.